Hello everyone, my name's David Edgar, I'm the host of Heart and Hand, the Rangers podcast, and I'm here today after Rangers went down 3-0 at Parkhead, a capitulation, there's no other word for it, today as we didn't lay a glove on them and were soundly beaten. No complaints at all about the scoreline. If anything, it could have been worse. And I think after the period we've had, a couple of years we've had, there's a tendency to pick on one group, whereas I think there's plenty of blame to go around. The lack of quality that Rangers had today is due to the board and the mismanagement of the transfers that they've had since 2021. The lack of shape and lack of organisation, I think, is down to the manager. And the lack of spirit and the lack of heart to win the duels, I think, was down to the players today. And Rangers were second best all over the park. I think most of us are realistic and we accept that there's a quality gap between us and Celtic. I do. I think that we're no daft, right? We might not, exactly want to talk about it a lot, but I think deep down we all know it. However, you do expect to at least match them in desire, and we didn't do that today. They wanted it more. They were first to the ball more often than we were, and in the end, they deserved the win. And it's a really, really poor display from Rangers. No Rangers player played well, not one. And the thing that frustrates me is the same mistakes. I find the worst thing as a fan, and I know speaking to our listeners that they do too, is that when you can see before a game something that's going to transpire, and it does, and you think, well, if we could see it, why couldn't the players and management? Why couldn't they see what we were lacking there? Rangers went and did the same thing we always do in these games, and of course we got pretty much the same result, a wee bit worse than maybe it had been the last few games, but still, you go there with the same shape, same system, same tactics, and we never seem to learn. Tavernier got completely ripped apart down his flank, as he does in a goal from that area, as always happens. The centre-backs were nervous as kittens in that first half anytime Celtic came at them. The midfield, who, is a newish midfield in there, but they got overrun. Nobody was designated to go and watch Kyogo when he does that thing where he drops off and gets the ball and runs at you. And nobody sat on McGregor to make a difference in there either. Add in a lack of quality in the final third. When we did make chances, we didn't look likely to take them. And all in all, it was a recipe for what transpired. The first Celtic goal we've seen so often, and the frustrating thing again was Rangers were decent in the opening 10 minutes. Let's not get carried away. We were decent in the opening 10 minutes, but more importantly, I liked the attitude. We were on the front foot. Celtic then had a goal disallowed for offside, which, by the way, should give us a boost, not them. It didn't. Rangers completely collapsed from that moment on. Conceded a goal a few minutes later. Matondo doesn't track his runner. Proper slips as the ball comes into the box, and I think Butland should save it. The second goal, I think Butland should certainly save it, but here's an issue that we've been seeing so far this season, which is we give the ball away in the middle of the park, and it's one pass, Kyogo turns, finishes, and it's a goal. And again, Butland should be doing much better. He's left a massive space to the side, and Kyogo has picked it out, but he had enough time to see that and stop it. Good effort though it was. And that's it. We know what transpires in second half. Celtic ease off a bit. We have more of the ball without ever really seriously looking like we're going to turn it round. They get a third deflected shot from McGregor. It's probably a more realistic scoreline in all honesty. And I think Rangers need to look at themselves from the top down. Because, as I say, we know the board's incompetence the last few years. Unfortunately, that can't be fixed quickly. I think the board should be asking themselves, given that it was them who allowed this mess to happen, if they're really the guys to turn it round. And I get there's a complication when the board are also the owners, but they should be saying, right, we're not good at this. We need to get in people to run this club who are good at running a football club. The manager, I think, has to look at what went on. Again, same things. There's nothing more frustrating from supporters when we see the same things happening game in, game out, and a manager either can't or won't change it. I thought Clement had a really bad day today. He's obviously here for the long term. He signed that new contract, but fans are entitled to ask questions when we watch the same errors being made in these big games. And the players really need to have a long, hard look at themselves. My worry with the Rangers squad is that it's full of supplemental players. Because in any team, you don't have 8 or 9 superstars. But you need 3 or 4, and then you've got the guys around them who'll do a job. We seem to have a squad full of do-a-job players. So it's very dispiriting, but it's not inaccurate showing today of where we are. Now, we hear a lot of talk about a rebuild, progress. It'll be slow and it'll be painful. It's now up to them to deliver, but they can have no surprise that the fans don't have a lot of faith that they're going to. And again, it's us that have been shortchanged. Thanks for listening, folks. Talk to you again after the international break. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.